Hi, I'm Andy Burrows, here at Biotech Week Boston for BWB TV. I'm here with Hilary Hehman, who's Director of Strategic Partnerships at the Fred Hutch Cancer Research Center. Welcome.
Thanks, Andy.
First up, how have partnerships evolved at Fred Hutch over the last few years?
Well, it's evolved in that it's actually sort of brand new. The dedication to building partnerships with industry and venture capital. We've only been at this effort, I think, proactively over the last 2 years. Gary Gilliland is our CEO, and he's been there for 3 years, and he came both from Dana-Farber as well as spent time at Merck. So he brought in a new sensibility into the organization, sort of understanding that we can't do the science solely within our own walls, and if we want to get it out into the patient to make an impact, that we really do need to partner with industry, venture, and people that have the skills and expertise to take our innovations to the world. So over the last 2 years, we've actually just been spending all of our time, at least my team has been spending all of our time out in the world, introducing Fred Hutch to this sector and this environment. It's really interesting. Most people that I have talked to over the last 2 years, when I say, do you know who Fred Hutch is? They say, no, or they say, aren't you Juno? Which is always an interesting question. Obviously, Juno is one of our most successful spin-outs. But we have other innovations and other sort of pipeline technologies that we're now actively sort of partnering out in the world. But it's been an educational sort of endeavor for the external environment over the last 2 years. And now it's gratifying because now when I go out and say, do you know who Fred Hutch is? They say, yeah, I've seen you in Fierce Biotech, and you've done some great partnerships and sort of gotten the traction out in the external environment that we've been looking for. So everybody's sort of energized by that now.
Okay, and how do you develop your partnerships? Is there more of a targeted strategy, or are they more organic?
I would say both. So we have some very, very crystallized areas of expertise at Fred Hutch, namely gene and cell therapies. Bone marrow transplant was pioneered at Fred Hutch, so we've been in that game since day one, essentially, and have been building up a roster of sort of really high caliber researchers who are now teaching the next generation. So, we start focusing around our areas of expertise purposefully and thoughtfully when we're looking for partners, and sort of go in that direction. So to think about people who are wanting to access our manufacturing expertise, or our clinical trial pipeline, or just sort of preclinical asset, pipeline asset. However, we also are sort of building organically relationships for people that we see now, have been seeing over the last couple of years, and having conversations with, and really recognizing that we have the same sort of philosophical worldview. When you say, we should be doing something together, I don't know exactly what it is, but let's sit down and think about it. And those are fun too, because then you're really creative about how you work with partners. And I think we've gotten some good partnerships out of those more organically grown conversations with out in the world.
And looking forwards, what do you see as the next phase for growth in your partnering?
So I think, personally, I would really like to focus our next phase on elevating not just Fred Hutch, but the Seattle region as being open for business and open for partnerships in the biotech sector. I think we get lost between San Francisco and Cambridge, right? So when you think biotech hub, Seattle isn't necessarily the place that springs to mind first, and I think we should change that. And I would like to be part of a group effort that does that. I know Fred Hutch wants to sort of partner better with our Cascadia region, so that would be anywhere up from Vancouver, British Columbia, down through Oregon, and perhaps even down to San Francisco if it would make sense. But sort of to aggregate those talents around the regional play would be fantastic, because it is an untapped little part of the world that has some really great science coming out of it. So I think people should be buying tickets to Seattle, not just Cambridge. So.
Absolutely. And more generally, how do you see any emerging trends between partnering between academia working with industry? Yeah,
I think it's sort of along those same lines. I think some of the trends are sort of building consortium models with a group of like-minded academic institutions. So whether with Fred Hutch, it would be with our partner comprehensive care centers that all come together and sort of participate in more of a team science approach, so that we all throw in our best our best skills, our best assets, our best people, and sort of look across our portfolios and see where there are overlaps that we can leverage. So instead of sort of working in a vacuum by our Fred Hutch selves, reaching out to other people and say, let's get in this game together. And then also, along with that, on the other side of sort of the aisle, if you will, looking at venture capital or biotech industry partners that are looking to sponsor those kinds of academic networks, so that we can all take more shots on goal because we have more critical infrastructure to bring to bear. I think that's going to be a really game-changing model that you're going to see more of. I know that there are some East Coast models that have done that, backed by people like Celgene and Deerfield. I'd like to sort of recapitulate that on the West Coast and hopefully find partners that would want to do that.
Well, great. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.